Hello, everybody. This is JVB from the Post Game Report podcast and TalkingAboutGames.com. So, here I have the new Samsung Gear 2 Neo. Now, Samsung came out with the original Samsung Galaxy Gear, which is the first smartwatch to give you the capability of making a phone call, answering texts, video recording, and taking pictures. Then they came out with just recently Part 2, the Gear 2. They took out the Galaxy tag because it's not running Android. It's running proprietary operating system on these new phones. They came out with 3 different models: the Gear 2, the Gear 2 Neo, which is this one because it's all plastic. The Gear 2 is metallic and it has the camera giving you the ability to take pictures and create video. I didn't want to do all that. And then you have the Gear Fit, which is a thin wristband. If you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you've seen me with it. Took it back because I wanted the Neo. Why? Well, I'm going to explain why. I'm an elevator technician during the day and podcast, video game geek, father, husband, whatever, at night, outside of work. And so one of the big factors besides the geek factor of growing up in the 70s and seeing Michael Knight, Dick Tracy, the Jetsons talking to a watch, and wanted to do that as a kid forever. Besides that, I figured, you know what? In my trade, it would be nice to have something where I can answer and receive calls and speak. Because I used to have a Bluetooth, but I always lose them. And so I figured, well, I can do that with this watch because essentially it's a different form of a Bluetooth headset, with the exception of the screen. So I figured I can, since at times going to troubleshoot an elevator that is down, my partner is elsewhere while I'm either in the motor room or something. So both of us have to communicate all the time. And with my Note 3, which I have right here, this 5.7-inch phone, big sucker. And so at times holding this and trying to do something with electrical wires or mechanical parts for the elevator, it can be a pain in the butt trying to hold this and do something that requires your full attention. So with the Gear 2 Neo, I figured, you know what, since I can talk into this and hear actual audio or voice coming out of this, let me see how practical it is on the job. Now I'm going to play a song that came in with the phone. Not bad, right? Double tap, like so. Whoops. So you're supposed to double tap. Okay, there we go. And you can adjust the volume. Alright, so that's how as loud as it's going to go. You have the speakers in the back. So you can, basically it's speakerphone. So while I'm working, while I'm wiring or whatever, I can have this. And if I need to, my partner needs to say run the car down, run the car up, stop or whatever, at least I can hear them and still do my work efficiently. Now in a noisy elevator motor room, at times you're not going to hear them. I've had this for 24 hours, used it today, so it was cool to actually do it right away, go through a real life scenario with the watch and my job. So the other thing you can do with this, you get notifications. So if you're getting a phone call, you will get a notification, of course, on screen letting you know that you have a phone call and from who, and then it'll vibrate, letting you know that you have a message. So the vibrate intervals, and that's another way of that. That's something else that would help me on the job, because if I have this phone in my pocket and I don't hear it, at least my watch is going to let me know that I have a voice message, a phone call, or a text message. Or I can get emails. I can get notifications from Google Plus, As you can see here, Twitter, Facebook gives you an assortment. It supports an assortment of apps. So from a practical standpoint, besides wanting a smartwatch, specifically the Gear 2, because the Gear 2 and the Neo, they will do the same. They have the same apps, same horsepower, or whatever. So, same tech specs. The only difference is the ability to record video or take snapshots, and then you have a metal frame surrounding the screen on the Gear 2. And that's $100 extra. This is $199. So you have the home screen. Here you see my apps. You see my call logs right here. Well, what did I do here? So you see my call logs, S-Voice. So whatever. You'll see pedometer, which today, that's how many steps I took today from the moment I left my house and went to work and then came back home. And you could actually sync all of these health apps. You can sync them to your phone so that when you have S Health or whatever they call it going on, it'll keep a history of what you've done throughout the day, week, month. You can sync it to your phone, and it even has this neat feature where if you're sleeping, it'll monitor. And I did this with the Gear Fit. I wanted to see how that works. So while you sleep, you can do a few things. You can set it up so that your phone goes into do not disturb mode, so that while you're sleeping, your phone vibrates and you cannot be disturbed. So that's cool. The other thing you can do, once you begin the timer from the moment you decide you're going to go to sleep, it will monitor how much you move during your sleep. And here you see my schedules. Oh, I got to wish my twin brother happy birthday today. Happy birthday, Jake. So I don't see that app here, so maybe I got to download it. You do get an app store that you can that you will once you go on your phone on your Gear Manager, you'll see a bunch of apps. Oh, there we go. So once you begin sleeping, you have a timer. It monitors, it senses. Like, for example, it told me that I stood stationary while I was sleeping for over 7 hours, and that I moved about 7 hours and 40 minutes into my sleep, which for a total was like 8 hours and 50 minutes or something like that. And then it gives you a percentage of how much you move during your sleep time. So it's cool. I don't know. I have sleep apnea. I sleep with a damn mask. So I got to stay on my back regardless. So I don't know the benefits of that, but it's cool to know if you're maybe tossing and turning too much during your sleep. Maybe there's something going on, and this will help you monitor that. I don't know how accurate it is. Sometimes I think the pedometer is inaccurate. You have a heart rate. It reads your heart rate, so I'm going to put that on really quick. So I'm going to start this. And it tells you to shut up, too, while you're doing it. Hey, what the hell's wrong with you? Let me tighten this up. Retry. Okay. Monitors my heartbeat. That will actually sync up with my software. If I were to sync everything up, it'll read my last heartbeat. Now, if I wanted to read my heartbeat throughout the day, I can do exercise. I can set the activity I'm doing. It'll measure my heart rate. So now I get a countdown. So it tells me up here that that's my heart rate in real time. I'm supposed to be walking, but I'm not. So it monitors your heart rate consistently. Tells you down here how many miles you walked, how many calories. It's assuming you lost. And that's a really cool feature. So from a practical standpoint, this watch, this smartwatch, really is worth the purchase. Like, it's like, for me, I'm a dork, I'm a geek, whatever you want to call it. I love my gadgets, and I wanted to get one just to have one. But once I started messing with the Gear Fit, and I realized that these health apps really came in handy, and then you combine that with the software, where you can even put in what kind of food you're eating. Now, the only problem I have here is that I can't sync the amount. Like, it's a separate piece of software, so if I want to do the pedometer there, I have to begin a separate walking mate in here, and then they'll sync up or something like that, which is kind of disappointing. But you see here, this was yesterday, I believe. That was what I walked yesterday. So you have a food tracker, you put what you ate. It tells me, it recommends a certain amount of calories that I should eat per day if I want to maintain a weight or lose a certain amount of weight at a certain amount of time. This was my breakfast. Sometimes I go overboard with the amount of calories, so I put extra calories because it's not always accurate. But because it's on a smartphone, it feeds off of data, some type of internet data, and you'll get what you eat. So if I add a meal, it assumes, because it's 7:51, that I'm having dinner. So it does that automatically. It'll go to breakfast, lunch, or snack. If I want to add a meal, let's say I had white rice, something that I had the other day, it'll ask for a portion, and you kind of, over here it tells you 4 cups cooked. Let's say I had 2 cups, and I put done. It tells me the nutrition factors, or the stats, and when you combine it, I got to change that later. It tells you what you ate for the day, and it combines that with the calories you lost, and it tells you if you're on track, if you met your calorie goal. You can set a goal of how many steps you want to take per day, or during your workout, you can set that, and you get like a little gold coin with music that pops up, letting you know you achieved your goal. But I didn't want to do like a full technical review. I just wanted to not explain why I got the watch, but for those consumers who are on the bench about getting a smartwatch, specifically the new Gear watch, with the original, the Samsung Galaxy Gear, excuse me. It's bulkier, it has the camera on the wrist. It only came in one model. This year they came out with 3. Even though with the original you can jailbreak it and install real Android apps and do all kind of crazy stuff with the original. But if you just want something that out of the box is going to provide you with some really good apps, right now, let me show you the app store. There's not a million apps for this product yet. And that's one thing I loved about the Pebble Watch. It had a very deep, not apps, but it had a lot of software where you can install into your Pebble. Granted, you were very limited as to the amount of quote unquote apps you can download or upload into your Pebble smartphone. Here you got 4 gigabytes of storage, so you can install quite a bit. There's some games and stuff, but nothing that I'm going to play. I don't want to play any games on my damn watch. But really quick, Samsung apps. As I stated, Samsung is in control of this watch, and that is probably the only downfall. But here let me see, select category, health, fitness. It'll give you, some apps. There aren't many apps right now. And you can either find ones, certain apps that are free or for purchase. So I'm assuming there'll be a lot more apps, but the apps that I have here, they provide something very useful. I can send my messages, I can receive messages, I can launch apps. Launch media player.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find
Damn you.
media player on your device.
Launch music player.
Open music player.
There you go. So anyway, it's very versatile once you have this S voice. You can check the weather, you can do all that stuff. You can check scores, you can launch apps, you can answer text, you can tell it to dial somebody. It's almost identical to what you have on your Samsung phone. And the beauty of it, even though I can see a tweet, I can receive a Twitter message. I won't get the entire thing, but I can't answer back. That's the only thing. So it has its downfalls. Maybe they come up with an app. Who knows? But anyway, from a practical standpoint, as I said, I just didn't get it for the geek factor. I got it for work. I got it for everyday use. The fitness apps, they come in handy. Definitely help me. It's going to help me to keep track of what I eat, how I work out, stuff like that. Battery life, as you can see right here real quick. I've had this on since about 6 in the morning. Right now it's at 62%, and that's with having the screen on, doing this video for quite some time. This is take 3, by the way. And messing around with it, of course, because it's the first full day I've had it. And, of course, it saves battery on my phone because I don't have to pick it up if I'm, occupied at work. I don't have to keep checking messages to see if it's something important. I can check right here. If it's nothing important, I don't have to call back. I don't have to answer back. I could just wait till later. But anyway, that's my take on the Samsung Gear 2 Neo. I highly recommend it if you are in the market for a smart watch. I also recommend the Pebble watch. And if you don't want something as bulky as the Pebble or the Neo, then I definitely recommend the Gear Fit. It's the most beautiful one out of all the smartwatches right now because of that curved AMOLED screen. Unfortunately, it's strictly dedicated to working out, and it gives you some capability to answer text via some templates. So it has limitations. The Neo is a bit more, it offers me more, and especially the geek factor part of answering and making phone calls. But anyway, make sure to check out talkingaboutgames.com and the Post Game Report podcast for all of your video game and geek culture news. And check out the ECA. We help to fight those lawmakers who want to add inappropriate or worthless rules and regulations that will hinder our beautiful video game culture. But until next time, I'm JVB. Take care.